As you deteriorate, you may find you have things that you want to say to your friends, to your family about your thoughts and your wishes. And it's really important to get those thoughts and wishes written down and communicated with all the people that are really important to you. There is a booklet that you can use called My Advanced Care Plan. And this booklet has lots of information and prompts that may help you to think about things that you would like to share with your family and your loved ones. It may include where you'd like to be cared for at the end of your life, and it also enables you to think about what you'd like to happen as you deteriorate and towards the very end of your life, including what might happen when your heart eventually stops. That's a very difficult thing to think about, and certainly it's very hard to talk about that with your family, but it's really important that we recognise that when we're dying, our heart will stop, and it's often very inappropriate to then be resuscitated, which can be painful and cause great distress, both to you and to those loved ones around you at the time. Healthcare professionals will be able to talk to you about what might happen when your heart stops, and to ensure that you are able to have a natural death, to let nature take its course. The healthcare professionals involved with your care will complete a Do Not Attempt cardiopulmonary resuscitation form. This is a form that you will keep with you. Take it with you if you go to hospital appointments, to your GP surgery, or even away on holiday. This form will mean that should your heart stop, you will not be resuscitated, and it will allow you to have a natural death, being cared for and supported to ensure that your death is as dignified as it can possibly be. It's really difficult to be able to define exactly when someone is going to reach the end of their life, but there are certain things that we notice as the end of life approaches. The first thing you might notice is that your loved one isn't as active as they used to be. They're doing less and less. They're no longer able to perhaps walk to the garden or even walk to the bathroom. They might be spending more time sleeping, either in a chair or in bed. All of this is quite normal, and it's to be expected. And what you will find is as time progresses, they will probably be in bed for most of the day, and again sleeping for most of that time as well. They haven't got much of an appetite. They don't really want to eat or drink very much at all. Again, this is all quite normal, and as we would expect someone to behave as they reach the end of life. In the very final stages of someone's life, certainly towards the last days or hours, you'll notice changes in breathing. You may even notice gaps in the breathing, and that can be very frightening, because those gaps can make you jump, because you actually think your loved one might have died, and then you'll find that very often they take another very big breath in, and that can be alarming, but it's all completely natural. Other changes that will also happen are changes to the colour of the skin. You may notice that the skin looks a little bit grey. Perhaps your loved one's fingers and toes become a little bit mottled, look a little bit bluish. And you may notice changes to the temperature of the skin as well. And sometimes people can feel a little bit cold or a little bit clammy. Again, don't worry. This is all part of the process of dying and is completely natural. It's really important during this time that you spend as much time with your loved one as possible. Sit with them, hold their hand and talk to them. We believe that hearing is often the last sense to go. So although they can't talk to you, the sound of your voices around, the general conversation can be really soothing and reassuring. Holding someone's hand, having that presence and that comfort can really, really make a difference to someone who's dying and reaching the end of their life. It's important that you feel you are continuing your caring role, and you can do many things to help the comfort of your loved one. This includes making sure their face and hands feel fresh and clean. You can do this by using a baby wipe or a flannel. When someone's dying, they're no longer able to eat or drink, and it can be really helpful to keep their mouth clean and moist, because this will keep them feeling comfortable. There are things you can do to help. Get a baby toothbrush and moisten your loved one's mouth. This can be done every hour. If they're not on oxygen therapy, you can use a lip balm or Vaseline to moisten their lips. By doing this, you'll prevent the lips from cracking and you'll provide great comfort during those final hours and days. During this time, it can be frightening, and if you are at all concerned or you have any worries, then please call your local hospice. The nurses and doctors there will be able to offer you advice and guide you through this very difficult time. Once death has occurred, there will be things that will need to be done. You will need to notify either your GP or your community nursing team to tell them that your loved one's died. They will then come out, they will help you with any last offices, and they will verify that the death has occurred. And this is really important, because until this is done, you won't be able to contact the funeral director that you've chosen to use. After the funeral director has been contacted, they will then guide you through the next steps as to what's going to happen. But the things that you will want to consider are that you will need to know your loved one's preferences for their care going forward and whether they want it to be buried or cremated. This is just so that your doctor can write the correct certificate for you. And once he's done that, your surgery will be in touch so that you can collect the certificate, which you will then need to register the death. Once you've received the death certificate from your doctor, you can make an appointment with the registrar to register the death. Attached to the death certificate is a list of information that you'll need to take with you, so please read it carefully and make sure that you've got everything you need to take to that appointment. It's also important to bear in mind that many organisations require an official copy of the certificate, and it's easier for you and more cost effective if you ask for additional copies at the time of seeing the registrar, rather than having to go back. There is a Tell Us Once scheme that will notify all statutory organisations, and the registrar will talk to you about this during your appointment. However, if you have any other questions or queries in the meantime, please contact your local hospice, who will be able to offer you help and support during this very difficult time. As a hospice, we offer bereavement support, and if you would like us to, we will contact you in the future to talk to you about the support that's available and appropriate for you and your family.